NASCAR Championship Weekend is on the horizon back at Phoenix Raceway October 31st through November 2nd, and you can watch that Xfinity Series title race at Phoenix Raceway on CW7 Arizona on November 1st. Joining us, someone who knows a lot about CW and being on track here in 2025, he is the 2006 Formula TR 1600 Pro Series champion, a 13-time NASCAR and ARCA winner, and a 2-time unofficial winner at Daytona. Analyst for NASCAR on the CW from Westport, Connecticut, it's Parker Kligerman. Parker, thanks for joining me.
Appreciate it, Devin. That was a heck of an intro. You went all the way back to the 2006 Formula TR Championship. Man, it's been a ride for sure. But no, it's cool, and all the things you mentioned that I get to do and be a part of in this Xfinity series. It's just such a cool series. It's so fun to cover, and having obviously racing it and now just getting to cover it and see all these great talents week in, week out go to battle is a lot of fun. And for all the viewers that have been on CW, we appreciate you. And hopefully we just keep bringing great races because this series is just on a real high.
Well, the viewership on CW has been immaculate all year long. And first of all, you deserve a big intro. You've done a lot over the course of your career, and now you're on TV, gosh darn, almost every single week. But as someone who wants to be kind of where you are in the booth and the NASCAR broadcasting side of things, I am still blown away that you did a pre-race hit with the driver who you ended up relieving mid-race to go take to victory lane when you won a Daytona for Connor Zilisch. And you even got a racing reference. They put the note there, Parker was the Parker won the race. But I mean, with so much that happened, whether it be going from Italy to Charlotte, the equipment flying across the country, what do you think should be the most lasting memory from winning at Daytona for Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
Kind of what you said there at the end, which is like my favorite memory of that whole crazy thing that went down was standing in victory lane, and I look to my left, and it's Dale Earnhardt Jr. I look up at the top of the grandstands. It says the World Center of Racing, and then his race car there and me. And I was like, how the hell did I get here? So, it was definitely a shock, but it was super cool. It was a very, a massive honor to get that call from Dale. And, and also I hated the circumstance because of what Connor Zilisch has been doing and how incredible he's been. But I did think in my mind, I was like, the only other guy that drove this car this year was Kyle Larson, and he won. And I was like, and obviously Connor's just dominating. I was like, okay, if I'm half the race car driver I think I am, I've got to win this race. I was very glad to make it happen. And I made the joke that, in 20 years, when Connor's won 1,000 Cup championships, I can be this small footnote in his book or documentary or whatever it is. So I was like, it was a big moment for me, to finally get an Xfinity Series win, although it won't be listed with hilarious, but such a me thing. But overall, it was so cool and an incredible experience. And one of the lasting coolest things is just that I got to spend that time with Connor, who is so incredible, so impressive, so mature. And I was like, man, overall, this was just an amazing experience.
So when the movie's made about Connor Zilisch, what actor's playing you?
Well, I've been called the Sonny Hayes of NASCAR a lot recently from the F1 movie. So maybe Brad Pitt. I always said Daniel Craig would play me, but
It's a good option.
that's I would say probably Daniel Craig, but hopefully, but I think the Sonny Hayes. I finally watched that movie and I was like, man, if he only kept checkered flags, I might have had to inquire about them stealing my life. So like I know that life well.
Well, it was so much fun to watch. It was so cool that you took Connor Zilisch victory lane. Even cooler that your teammate is up in the booth, Adam Alexander, calling you to the checkered flag. It has been so obvious how much fun that you, Adam, and Jamie McMurray have been having in the booth so far this year. How have you guys really, since race one, it just felt like you guys have fun in the booth. How do you create that camaraderie and that chemistry so quickly between the three of you?
You said it though. It's because we have fun. And it's literally like every time us three do a race together, if you could see us in the booth, we're just laughing, jabbing each other. Like, this is awesome. Obviously, the series puts on great racing. That's a testament to the drivers, the teams. The design of the car is awesome. And so I just think all those things combined with the momentum the Xfinity Series has had, being on the CW and being in one single place all year, which has shown great, audience growth. I think all those things combined, we enjoy it. And Jamie and I and Adam have had these discussions of like, people ask us that, like, why you guys how do you have so much fun and everything? Because we are. we are having fun. So I made the joke when I went into this with the booth, and I was like, when I looked at everything and opportunities to go, in my life or where I wanted to go, I said, I would most likely be watching these races, so I might as well get paid to do it.
There you
And
go.
it's like it's the greatest job in the world because I was like, I enjoy racing. I'd be watching these races anyway. We just get to be the first to react to what's happening on track, and it's a lot of fun.
So, a few facets of your life. We got the racing done. We got the booth done. Let's talk about the Money Lap now. The group that you own with Blandon Castle. You guys have your podcast. Everyone loves it. You go across the whole world of motorsports, and we see more and more of this. We see Denny Hamlin with his podcast. Corey LaJoie has his podcast. Kyle Larson was doing one for his High Limit series last year, right? With all these driver podcasts, it feels like it's an unprecedented amount of entrance into the driver's brain, into the driver's seat for the fans. And obviously, that can be a massive thing for motorsports, but I'm curious on both sides of the fence from what you see, Parker. How can these kind of drivers' podcasts, first of all, be so beneficial to the sport, but also maybe potentially be a danger at times too?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting discussion. It's kind of just the modern day media landscape, as you know, it's not that you have to be on a TV show anymore to get your point across. You can be anywhere in the world and have access to the internet and be able to make a podcast or make a YouTube video or that sort of thing, or both, right? And so in social media is obviously a big part of that. And I think it's just sort of the natural evolution of media for the sport. And it's really cool that the drivers like Denny, I think Dale was kind of first, to do this sort of thing. Kevin, ourselves, it just seemed like a fun thing to do. And for Landon and I, Landon Castle, who's my co-host on Money Lap, he and I were like kind of similar to the whole. I'd already be watching the races. He and I talk every week about racing, and we were like, why don't we just record this and put it out there and see if anyone wants to listen? So that's how ours came about. And it's really natural, and I think you hear that with Denny's how natural it is, and so I think it's to your point, it's unprecedented access. It's awesome. It's great to see them leveraging modern, media and putting it out there. And one of the funniest things for us is our actual listeners or people that watch on YouTube is a fraction of what happens when we clip it and put it out there. And all the drivers that come up to me and people in the industry like, hey, I saw that clip. I disagree with what you said, or I agree with what you said, that sort of thing. And I'm like, okay, that's really cool. So it's utilizing all the modern, media outlets. And I think it's just a great thing overall for the sport. Yes, there's possibly drawbacks if you say something you shouldn't or whatever. But to be honest, I think the positive outweigh the drawbacks so largely that it's almost it's not even worth the time to say there's any drawbacks because there's just when you allow that access to the fans and allow them to hear your point of view unfiltered, unedited, it's a powerful thing that is only going to continue to gain weight and power. And so I just think it's the future for every single driver, athlete, whatever. You got to be out there putting letting people inside.
Well, we go from the access in the digital world that all the fans get to have now to all the access that they get at a place like Phoenix Raceway for NASCAR Championship Weekend. The Xfinity Series Championship coming up on November 1st, a track that you've raced at, a track that you've announced at, a track that you pit reported at. During this little span that we've had here as NASCAR as the championship host at Phoenix Raceway, what do you think they've done really well? What have they brought to the table as the host of the championship that you've really enjoyed seeing these past handful of years?
Well, and I know I'm not alone in this thought. That facility is absolutely remarkable. It's beautiful. It's a great fan experience. The town really leads into it. There's a lot of advertising. They've, huge crowds each and every year for the championship finale. And so I think all those have been awesome. And for the Xfinity Series, we've seen some amazing finishes there. I think, the Hemrick and Cindric to this past spring with Armarola and Bowman and sliding across the line and bumping doors, that sort of stuff. I just think it's been a great mix of good racing, but also to me, really what sticks out about that facility is just the facility itself and how great it is. I saw a Reddit conversation that was like, hey, what's the best facilities in NASCAR? And Phoenix and Daytona were top two. And it was like, yep, that makes sense. Those are some of the best experiences for the fans. And the camping out there is insane. Every time we arrive there, I can't believe how many campers there are, how many people are there. So it's just overall a great vibe. It's a great event. And so, I think it's a fitting place for the finale because of those reasons. And they, everyone at that facility and within the town of Phoenix and that area deserves a lot of credit because, it feels like a championship event, a championship weekend when you're there. And I think the drivers and all the teams, everyone respond to that when you have that atmosphere.
And this will be number 6, the 6th championship crowned at Phoenix Raceway. It's our last one for at least a little bit that we know of. But what are you most looking forward to flying back over here to Phoenix and being here for championship weekend?
All right, besides In-N-Out Burger, which is like a rite of passage for me every time I'm on the West Coast, I would say what I'm looking forward to, being as you said, this could be, the last one for a while here. I think it's continuing to see that fan support, see how many people come out. Just it's amazing every time. It's amazing to me, the atmosphere there and the vibes around that place. And in terms of the racing, I feel like we could see Connor Zilisch having one of the most remarkable championship seasons in the modern era of the Xfinity Series if he's able to cap it off with a championship, or a complete upset. Because aside from his teammate Justin Allgaier, I'd say anyone else would probably be an upset. So, with the season he's having, so really that's at the that weighs in the balance of like what we're gonna see that weekend. Saying that he gets all the way there, is the possibility of someone who probably is the deserving champion if you just handed out a trophy on pure performance over the season, or an upset, which will definitely be a discussion point for many, many fans. So we'll see.
Absolutely. Well, excited to get out there. Excited to see you out there, Parker, with the CW and watch the Xfinity Series Championship race on CW7 Arizona on November 1st. Of course, all of NASCAR Championship Weekend on October 31st through November 2nd. Parker, always appreciate you having you on. Always appreciate what you're doing out in the community. And hey, best of luck at the Roval.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. And thank you all there and everyone watching on CW. It means the world. And we're going to keep pushing the envelope. We're not resting on our laurels. We're going to keep finding new ways and better ways to, show off this amazing series in the Xfinity Series.